we've had to move. Oh, that's perfect. We've had to move from tripods and everything. So Greg's in now. Greg, can you come on now? Join. We are. Where are we? Where's Greg? I need to join him. Is it that little circle? Yeah, Greg. Is he coming? Come on, Greg, if you come in. Come on, Greg, on you come now, mate. You got to request. You got to request now, Greg. Are you coming on, Greg? We're having a waiting for you, Greg, to request. Come on you come. Wave. We'll be on in a minute. No, come on, Greg. There he is. Right. Yeah. Is he coming on? Is he in the garden? Waiting. Where is he? Is he coming? Yes, we're in. Yes, Greg. How you
Gavin,
doing?
you all right,
You all right, buddy?
Yeah,
How are you? Actually got ya. We've got ya. This is we're live, Greg, at last. We've had to move from Facebook today because Facebook, oh my gosh, the technical glitches with Facebook and all that. Thanks. There we go. We're back, mate. So you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
yeah,
mate.
I can hear you.
So what we're going to do then, Greg? We're going to talk a little bit about your footballing career, and what and when you first started, and to where you are present. Do you know what I mean? And so, first things first, Greg. We know you was a really good footballer, and I met you when you was a young lad. So I just want you to sort of just tell people where it all began. Do you know what I mean? Where it all began and where you started playing football.
I mean, to be fair, I always played football from when I was at school. But you know very well, you were my opposite neighbour, and I still remember being on the street and just chatting to you. Yeah. Obviously, at the time, I think I only played Sunday league. So I mean, it was quite lucky that I bumped into you. You lived across the street. Obviously, you had your soccer schools, and you just said to me, "Do you know what, Greg? Come along." And I think from there, really, I was never really fussed, but you were the one that, pushed me. You said, "You know what, Greg, I think you're pretty good. I think you're decent. Why don't you give this a go?" And I still remember, I think it was one summer, and you drove me up in your car up to Moulton. And that's where I think, I don't know, how old was I at that point?
So I think when I first met you, I think you was about 15.
Yeah.
I think you was about 15. And I think you were banging in the goals for your local team, weren't you? So, and you were still, what was funny, you were still walking around with your top off, them showing your muscles off, weren't you?
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
I was just a kid on the street, and I had 15. I think I would have been in my last year at school then. But I remember I remember the day very vividly, actually. Took me in your car, we drove up to Moulton, and you get there, and I think there was hundreds of kids, because it was the trials, I think, at the time. And I remember you giving me a little pep talk in the car. I said, "You know what, Greg? Go out there, show your stuff, do your thing." And to be fair, the day just went really smooth. I went out there, played football, and I think in the end they do like a game at the end, they picked all the trialists that they thought would make a good team. And I think we gave the actual Northampton boys at the time, we gave them a game, and we done pretty well. And I think from there, it was just getting that letter to say, come and have a trial. And at the time, I was only 15, 16. But to me, I didn't really have the big picture. Do you know what I mean?
No. Because it was pretty, if you look at it, it was pretty rushed, wasn't it? It was quite a quick thing. I mean, what team were you playing for? What local team were you playing for when I spotted you?
I think I was playing for Gregory Celtic at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what I was playing for. But
who was your manager at that time?
I couldn't tell you, Gavin. We're talking what, 10, 15 years ago now?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
But you was banging in goals then. So give me like an average season with you with goals and what you were scoring and you know what made you a little bit more special than the others. Do you think? Did you have that idea in your head where you thought, you know what, I want to be a footballer, or I'm a little bit better, and you know what I mean? So
I think for me, I just had that raw ability. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once the ball was in my feet, it was pretty hard to take it off me. And I was scoring. I mean, I remember they did to do the little thing in the local paper, and the team I played for, I think one season they must have scored something like 120 goals, and I got like 90 or 80 of them or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know, and I think for me at that time, I think football was just everything. You know, I used to take a football to school. Come weekend, some of the lads at that age, they'll be in the park drinking, but I wasn't. I was just, everything was, I breathed, ate, slept football. I mean, you know yourself, I was always with you. I mean, literally, I think at one time I would spend all my days with you.
You did. You did.
Whether if it was at the soccer school with you, or it was in the evenings or whatever, it was just, we became like buddies, didn't we?
Do you remember that time we went to Leighton Buzzard for my UEFA B? And you come with me for a whole day on a Sunday.
Yeah, I remember that. And
you got all the lads going, who's he about? Is he coming on our course and all that sort of stuff? And I said, no, he's just a lad that I know from the street. I think he'll do well as a footballer. Do you know what I mean? So, do you remember that day?
I do. I remember very well. Obviously, you were doing your UEFA B at the time with all the other coaches and that. And we went, was it a whole day, was it? And
we done a whole day on Leighton Buzzard on a Sunday.
Yeah. And obviously, I think in the end, you did get your UEFA B, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it was a good day. I think we had a barbecue at the end as well. But it was good. Fun times.
They were. And like I say, right, for a young lad just to come off the street, we like you being opposite sides of my street, and you come to you were like my other lad. You had Jordan that used to come and all.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And then I had you in the car. And like you say, we used to watch a lot of football and do a lot of football. I mean, like I say, when you was a kid, I don't know too much about you. Where was you born? Was you born in England?
Nah, I was born in Zimbabwe.
Okay. And what's it like in Zimbabwe for football? Is it popular over there, or when did you first start kicking a ball though? That's what I want to know.
I mean, we where I'm from, we played football on the street with no shoes.
Okay.
That's the pick. Like that's what we did, and even there, that's why I say football it's a universal language. Do you know what I mean? All you needed at the time was 2 goalposts, whether it was 2 stones, a T-shirt, whatever. We didn't have bibs, so one team would play skins, the other team would play tops.
Yeah.
And we didn't have shoes, and we would make footballs out of like plastic bags and whatnot. That's that's where it started for me. So I always had a passion for it, and I always played. But believe it or not, I think at that time I probably wasn't that good. I know there's kids that stayed there that were definitely a lot better than I was, but obviously the opportunity is different, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, like you say, when every child, like you say, when we start kicking a ball at a young age, most boys are absolutely mad for football, aren't they? I mean, I used to remember when I was a kid, I used to be kicking balls against the curb and commentating and doing my own thing. And we all do that if you love football, because it's such a big sport. And we love it, don't we? And still now, you still love it because you're still playing it. Do you know what I mean? Now, what I want to ask you, Greg, is right. So we had them trials, didn't we? We had them trials at Northampton Town. You got the letter, and then what happened from there?
So got the trials. I was, I think, 15, 16. So the way that obviously the football works in England or whatever, you do your scholarship, don't you? Yeah. So I mean, at the age of like 16, it's when they decide from their like under 16s team who's gonna get the chance to do the scholarship. and obviously it's like an apprenticeship, you know, that you do for 2 years. So when I joined, to be fair, I think they were about 4 months away from making those decisions.
Yeah.
So I joined late on, but because I did so well when I come onto the scene, it was like I remember just progressing very quickly.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, you know, we'd sat down and they said, look, when you finish school, we want you to come and be an apprentice for Northampton Town.
So as a kid, as a child, right, as a 17-year-old boy, think of you going back now. What was like the thing going through your head? What went through your head thinking, right, okay, I'm going to go into the under-18s. What was going through your head? What was the thing that you thought, do you know what? Am I going to make it, or is this the most surreal thing ever? Do you know what I
mean? It happened so quick, to be fair, if I'm honest. I didn't have that, because a lot of the lads that played in the Northampton team, they would have been there from an age of, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, you know, which a lot of them were. So for me to come into it, 15 and a half, whatever, 6 months to go for the decisions, just happened so quick.
Yeah.
But I still remember a couple of days leading up to the decision.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I don't know, it was crazy. I remember having a conversation with one of my school teachers, my science teacher. And I think he says, I don't know what he said. I think I was late to school or something like that. And he goes to me, you know what? When your college, when you finish school and your college write to us to say, I want to know what Greg was like. I'm going to say you were never on time and you're going to struggle to get into college. And I still remember turning around to him and saying, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be a footballer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what I say to him at the time. So I still remember the day, actually, going up to the office and having the conversation with my then youth team manager of them saying, we want you to. And at the time, I tell you what, it was literally, it felt like I'd won the lottery.
Yeah.
I don't think I had a plan, if I'm honest.
No. And like you say, being young, and having that jump straight onto you is quite difficult because, like you say, you're in a bit of a whirlwind. Now, when you went to the under-18s, you had some characters in that. I mean, when I was at the Cobblers teaching with you, you had Dukesy, who else there? Malachi. Who else did you have in there?
Ben was there, Ben Islam, Charlie Deaf.
Yeah.
There was a lot. Tom McBride, Michael Jacobs was a bit older.
Yeah.
And who else? There was loads of lads. Razor, Ruddock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many to remember now. But now they were good lads. And that environment, it's when you look back at it, to be fair, and all the lads will tell you the same thing. It's the best times of your life.
Yeah.
It's literally because we still have lads that we chat to now, and we, sometimes we'll hit each other up and we just always reminisce about, because literally at that point it was football 24/7. You woke up.
Yeah,
yes, go on.
No, I mean, I always remember because you had Sean Parrish there. Sean Parrish was the most funniest man, and then you had Eddie Gold. You had Jeff there, Jeff Arab, Burnett, Big Jeff. And then, like, you had all the good coaches there. You had Carey there. You had, like I said, Sean and Eddie, like you say, Sean Parrish was your manager, weren't he?
Sean Parrish was my manager.
Yeah.
And he, to be fair, he turned my, like, because I was just a kid with ability. But working with top coaches like Sean, Eddie McGoldrick, they turned me into a proper footballer, taught me how football works, where to be position-wise, and it helped that both of them were attacking players as well, like myself.
Yeah.
So, it was big learning curve, and for me, the best times of my life.
Yeah, and I mean, I always remember just being able to walk into that stadium in the day, and you had Ecken were there and all, and you had, big lads making coffee and tea, and it was really, really good times, wasn't it? And I always remember Eddie making you run up and down the stadium stairs training, for his training and all, weren't it? Sometimes.
Definitely, it was. I mean, it was tough. Don't get me wrong. It was hard because we did long days, but I think it's changed a bit now. But we used to get in at like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
To clean the boots, we had to wash the boots, clean the balls, get the bibs ready. get everything ready for the first team boys to train.
Yeah.
I think I actually washed Akinfenwa's boots at the time.
Yeah.
And we had a little deal. He would say to me, look, if I can get to double figures by Christmas,
yeah,
you get 100 quid off me at Christmas.
Yeah.
And every other goal after that is an extra like 10 quid or whatever. So you can imagine when he scores on a Saturday, I'm in the stand watching, everyone's buzzing, but I'm thinking, yeah, we're getting to the money. Because at the time, I mean, that was a lot of money, like 100 quid or whatever. But yeah, it was tough. You know, we trained hard, we worked hard. And effectively, it's like a 2-year job interview, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, watching, like I say, I mean, I used to, you know, watching you lot train in the gym when Sean used to get you in the gym in the morning, or Eddie used to get you in the gym. They used to make you work hard, didn't they? They was just, you know, and then we go on the back pitch, didn't we, and have some fun on the back pitch.
Yeah, you know? Definitely.
Yeah,
and you used to come up quite a bit, didn't you? I remember.
Yeah, I was there.
And I think you did some of your UEFA B there as well with some of the boys, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I done it with, yeah, we did. And then you'd done your level 2, didn't you? And all that sort of stuff, you know. So, but what I was going to ask you now, right? So we got through to the 18s, right? You've done the 18s. Now, my question was, the next question was to you, is that you and who were asked to go and become professional footballers. So can you tell me the story about that? Because there will be kids listening about this, because as you know, there's loads of kids out there that would love to be professional footballers. And, you know, any boy that loves football would love to be a professional footballer.
Yeah. It's every kid's dream, innit, to be fair. And obviously, being a local lad, I'm from Northampton. So we used to, on a Saturday, we, as you know, as kids, we used to go watch the Cobblers. You know, we used to watch, I don't know if you remember Derek Kaziboni. He was my favourite player. Absolutely adored him. And that, you know, that was the goal. And luckily for me, after the 2-year scholarship that I done, so I think I was 18 at the time, and in my year group, there would have been about maybe 16 of us.
Yeah.
There would have been 16 of us lads. And luckily for me, out of those boys, I was the only one actually that they asked to, you know, that got the professional contract.
Yeah.
So I remember the day like it was yesterday. Northampton had just survived. I think we'd stayed up on like the last day or something like that. We were gonna get relegated.
Yeah.
And we, obviously at the end of it, you know, like I said, at the end of your 2-year job interview, they get all the lads to sit in the stand, and one by one they ask all the lads to go in this office.
Yeah.
And everyone come out, tears, crying, you know, because it's what you've worked for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Lads are coming out, and I mean, there were lads that come. I mean, I don't know if you remember Mihai.
I remember Mihai, yeah.
He'd come from Romania, moved to Romania to come play football to get this pro contract, but they say no to everyone. I go in last, and you know, I've sat at the table, and you know, that was like for me the moment I'd worked for 2 years. And Sean Parrish looks at me, and he's got that little smirk on his face.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
And he just said, yeah, well done.
Yeah.
The club have decided to offer you a professional contract.
Yeah.
And, you know, literally in that moment, I felt like I'd won the lottery.
Yeah.
Because I'd always wanted to be a footballer. And now I finally could. You know, I could go away that summer knowing I'm coming back to do the thing I love. And, you know, all the other stuff that come with it, you know, you get little pay rise, you get all the stuff, you know, like the game FIFA, you get to be on FIFA, you get to have your name on the back of your shirt. I mean, that was a big deal. Just to have your name on the back of a shirt, you get a squad number. So, I was ecstatic, to say the least.
Yeah, but to be fair, you've come from being on the street, you know, in town. Then all of a sudden that you'd actually made it, which I thought was absolutely amazing, because you worked so hard at it to get there, and all the other lads were saying, well, what a good player you are, and you know, you were fast, you were strong, and you could bang a goal in, and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it was a time of celebration, a little bit in my side and all, because I also remember that time, Greg, you come into It was the first day you being in the under-18s, and you were supposed to be at the stadium, and there you were standing at the end of my bed saying, "Can I have a lift?"
Do you know what? I remember that day well. And to be fair, I think looking back at it, if I had not lived opposite you, Gavla, I don't think a lot of things would have happened. Do you know what I mean? A lot, because it was always you always pushed me, and it was I mean, because like you know me, I'm very laid back. Do you know what I mean?
Very laid back, yeah. You're very laid back.
I'm a laid back guy, you know, and you'd always like, you know, it was always you, you know, and I remember literally Joe, your wife, bless her.
Yeah.
You know, she would make me pack lunch, make sure I had a drink and all that. And like you said, whenever I needed a lift, because I didn't drive at the time, you know, you were always there to give me that push. And for me, it was literally, I remember just kicking a football across the garage, bumping into you, and everything changed from that point, you know.
Yeah,
yeah, go on.
And I loved it. I loved it because I thought, in a little bit of my side, I thought, do you know, I've had to push Greg for this, and he's done it, and he's there. So now you are. This is the question, right? Now you are a professional footballer, right? So when did you make your debut? When was your first debut?
So I think I made my debut before I was actually a professional. Yeah. So I made my debut when I think I was 17. So I was still at college. And we played a game against Gillingham at Priestfield on a Tuesday night. I think we lost 2-0, but that's the night I made my official debut. So I'd already played a few games before that. But making my official, I think we had the night at Liverpool as well when we beat Liverpool in the Carling Cup. Yeah. I was there on the bench for that day. But making my home debut, I think, who did I play against? I don't know. I think it would have been Swindon. I think it would have been against Swindon or one of those teams at home. That's when I would have made my official first team debut.
So now you're a professional footballer. You've made your debut, right? What was your first home debut? So when was the first one you were shown off to the crowd? You know, you're now a Northampton Town professional footballer. No one can take that away from you, because once you know, when you look at it, whatever you say, you have been a professional footballer. You know, so what was your first debut? What was it like in the sense of the home game when you were at home?
So it was a Tuesday night. We played Morecambe.
Yeah.
And I remember just being on the touchline, warming up, whatever. I'd been doing well in training. And, you know, you're jogging up and down, and you look up at the big stand, the big family stand, and you see all the like youth team lads, all you know, your family, friends, everyone. And I remember looking up at the bench, and you get the little wave. So I looked up, and I'm you know, in shock. I've gone, what, me? And he says, yeah, you come. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm running to the side, taking my jumper off, and I still remember just standing there, you know, with the liner, the ref, and he puts the ball.
Yeah.
And behind me, you can hear the cheer. And obviously, being a local lad, you know, they were sing, you know, he's one of our own. And I could hear that, and it sends a tingle down my spine.
Yeah.
And I remember just going out there, and I'm running on the pitch, and it felt like a film, because I'm looking out, I can see Big Akinfenwa there. I see, you know, all the other lads, Luke Guttridge, all these other big players, and I'm thinking, I'm really on the pitch with these boys in front of 8,000-9,000 people watching me play football. And it was so real, you know, it was such a real thing. And yeah, like you said, no one can take that away from you.
You can't, because like you say, there's as I said, there's so many children that would absolutely love to be in the position that you were in at that time, and to try and actually keep what you got to do and keep where you want to stay, and making that debut. And it would be unreal for you're a young lad now thinking, do you know what? Can I make that grade? It must be one of the best feelings in the world. So another one, Greg. When did you score your first goal? How many goals did you score while you were making appearances for Northampton?
So I never actually scored any goals, but because you know the games I've played a lot of the time, it was you're coming on or because I think at the time Northampton were they were struggling, so it would be you'd come on to make an impact or that kind of thing. I assisted a few, but I never actually got any proper first team goals. But like you said, for me personally, at that time, football was like everything to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I didn't hardly drink at that time. I didn't drink,
It's changed now, mate.
I hardly went out, and to any kids out there, you want to be a footballer, you've just got to dedicate your everything to it. You've got to almost treat it like a girlfriend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to be the first, because for me, I never really thought of it as, I'm going to, obviously a lot of things come with football. Do you know what I mean? So I remember walking through town and I would see little kids and they would be like, oh, that's great. Do you know what I mean? He's on FIFA. And it's like, wow. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
yeah.
Well, like you say, as you said, as being a footballer, you made it when you're on FIFA, because like you say. Now, Greg, I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty stuff now, because you were at Northampton, right? You had the world at your feet. You were a professional footballer. And then all of a sudden, one day, you're not playing for Northampton no more. So, you can talk me a little bit about what went on and why you think that happened, and why do you think, you kind of let go of that massive dream that you've achieved, if you know what I mean. So, I'd just like to delve into that tiny little bit about what went on and get the proper story from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, it's all a learning curve. But I think looking back at it, right, it was such a thing where, if I'm honest, I don't think I had the bigger picture at hand. I didn't plan ahead. So for me, I think my main goal was getting that professional contract. It was I want to be a footballer. I want to get that pro, and I never really saw beyond that. And I think once I was in the position, I almost felt in myself like I'd made it.
Yeah.
I almost felt as if, do you know what? I've done the work. I've got the professional contract, got the name on the back of the shirt, getting a little bit of money now. This, I can sort of just chill now. I can relax. But obviously, looking back at it, it's the complete opposite. Getting the pro that's just the first step. That's just your foot in the door.
Well, I have got, in the next few weeks, I've got Callum Robinson coming on from Sheffield United, right? So I should be asking him the same sort of questions of what I asked you, and obviously the other way. So carry on. So in this sort of like period where you'd thought, do you know what, I'm made it now, I don't really need to make that effort. What happened at the end of it for the contract to be terminated?
It was just, I mean, at the time we had a lot of different managers as well. In Northampton. I think the time I was there, we must have had like 2 or 3 different managers in a short space of time. And it was Adi Boothroyd actually, who in the end terminated my contract. But it was a thing where I think my head was in a different place. My head was the focus just wasn't the same. Do you know what I mean? I was more interested in doing other things and, going out, doing this, doing that. And I suppose my lifestyle away from football probably affected that a lot. Yeah. And obviously I think that's when alcohol came into the picture. And that's never good for any athlete or anyone.
So it wasn't nothing to do with the cobbler's initiation night then? No, it wasn't going out with the Northampton Town boys and them showing you a good time.
I can't really talk about the specifics of that night on here because I'm mindful that there's kids watching. Yeah. So you know how the football thing goes, what the footballers get up to. Yeah. It's a fast-paced kind of life, and I got roped into it, should I say?
So when you played, your last game was against Swindon, am I right?
Yeah.
And I think who was the manager, the Italian manager? It was
Paolo Di Canio.
And you lost. Basically, what happened, right, Greg? I think this is what I got told, and I think I might have remembered from you saying that I got told that you picked the ball up middle of the park, yeah, and then you lost the ball, and they went and scored. Am I right?
So, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you lost the ball, they scored. Di Canio went running down the line and skidded on his knees.
Yeah.
I think the Cobblers lost 2-1, didn't they?
Yeah. So we've lost 2-1.
Yeah.
We lost 2. To fair, Swindon had 10 men, I think, because they had a man sent off.
Yeah.
So Aidy Bruford goes, Greg, gone. We need a goal. Get on the pitch. So I think there's about 30 minutes left, and I was having a good game. You know, I'm enjoying my football. I'm playing well, playing with confidence. Me and Akinfenwa were doing little 1-2s. It was all going well. And I remember this moment so vividly. Marco Jacobs was on the left, and I think I've looked at him to pass him the ball. And as I've put my head down, their right back has then read the pass.
Yeah.
Intercepts it. They go and score. And Paolo Di Canio, I don't know why, he runs on the pitch.
Yeah.
And he does a knee slide where their fans were. And I still remember looking up and like just, you know, the massive Northampton stand.
Yeah.
There's about 7,000-8,000 people, and everyone's going, boo! Boo!
That's not good. That's not good.
I'm thinking, So I've gone in the changing room, and I remember just having my head down, like, so I'm sat there, my head's in, I've got my head in my hands like this. Aidy Bruford comes in, and he goes, I can't repeat the language he used because I'm mindful there's kids watching.
Yeah, that's it. Good, yeah.
But long story short, he picks me up by my collar and he puts me on the wall.
Did he?
Yeah, grabs me, puts me on the wall.
Long story.
And he's like, what on, like, I mean, he's getting ballistic. And I think it was Akinfenwa who comes in and sort of had to grab him, say, look, leave it, he's a kid. And sometimes in football, that's what happens. Things change like that.
Yeah.
And from that point, our relationship just sort of went downhill. And I remember, I think it was coming up to the end of the contract as well. And I think, at the time, a lot of players were being released. He was getting rid of a lot of players because he had new ideas, things that he wanted to do. And, unfortunately for me, I was one of them players, and my contract ended.
So you got your contract terminated. So it for me, if I was a pro footballer and I was still a youngster, and then someone turned along and said to me, "Look, well, this is it. I'm really sorry, you're gone." Yeah. Now I'm not being funny. You'd thought you'd made it, and then all of a sudden, for that sort of like the carpet be swept along from your feet. Yeah. Then you know what I mean. That to me would be heartbreaking. So when you're brought in on a Sunday morning to do laps, is it, or something like that? You brought in to do laps on a Sunday morning for messing up, or was that just a rumour?
I don't remember, to be fair. I mean, there was a story, but from what actually happened, from my perspective, I think it was snowing.
Yeah.
But the lads had to go in and train.
Yeah.
And for some weird reason, the guy who sent the text out, a group text, didn't include me in that text.
Okay.
So I never got the message. So I'm thinking we've got a day off or whatever. I'm at home chilling, and I think Sean Parrish rings me. He says, "Greg, where are you?" I said, "I'm at home." He says, "Yeah, the lads are in." So at this point, I think training had started at maybe like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. At this point, it's probably like 10 o'clock. So also at the time, I didn't drive either. So I'm now thinking, so I've got to call a taxi, get to training. And obviously it doesn't look good when everyone's in and you're a young lad, and, but it was just, it was like a string of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And, of course at the time you're heartbroken because your contract has been terminated.
Yeah.
But personally, the way I prefer to look at things is not so much disappointment or upset that it ended, but I'm just glad that it happened.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Because as I said to you before, earlier, that you have been a professional footballer. There's nothing they can take away on the paper because you have been a pro. So basically, right, you got moved on from Northampton, and then you went to my old mate John Brady at Brackley. Am I right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So now at this time you're not a pro footballer no more. You're really a semi-pro footballer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, so what happened at Brackley? I mean, John Brady. We all know John. A lot of people know John. I know you suffered a lot of injuries at Brackley with is it your ankles?
I had so many. Like, I had a lot of injuries. I think the worst one, I had an ankle injury in the end. So I was playing football at Brackley, which is still a respectable standard.
It is, yeah.
And at that point of football, I'm just learning a lot. You know, you're learning about the non-league side of things, how different it is. Obviously, having to work a normal job and then doing the training on like a Tuesday, Thursday, and then game on a Saturday. But it obviously meant I got more playing time. And like I said, I was learning the football. And to be fair, I was probably playing some of the best football of my life. I was about 22. And at that point, I had probably had, I'd club, League Two clubs interested in signing me.
Yeah.
And that's when I had a really bad injury.
Yeah.
I broke my ankle. And I don't know if you remember, but I had to have an operation on it.
Yeah.
And I was on the sideline for like 2 years.
2 years. I mean, that's heartbreaking, especially like when you're still getting pro clubs looking at you. Yeah. And I think if you would have been given a second chance, then you never know, because like you say, you either learn from these mistakes, or you think, oh, here I go again. I've got a pro contract. I'm big and on this and that. But I think, Greg, I do think I would have been into you big time if I would have known you would have had a second chance. Greg, I'd have been by you every single way, because I was by you from the start of everything. And then for you, like, to lose it broke my heart. But I didn't really want to tell you too much about it, but it did. But then, like you say, it did. But, you're a young lad and you've got to get on with it, and you've got to learn your own way, ain't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, go on, Greg, sorry.
Nah, you're spot on. And to be fair, you did support me. You pushed me. And like I said, for me, as much as I am disappointed at how, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Hello, Finley.
I am. How do I put it? Football gave me so much. Like I said, I left school. I didn't have a plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just, I didn't really have a plan, but football gave me so many things that things I probably could have only have dreamed of.
Oh.
But nah, it's all good. It's all good.
So now you've had your operation, you've moved on. So what other clubs are we at? We've played at, and then I want to get to the one at the moment, which is going to be at the end of the interview, where the conversation with Tamworth, the Tamworth one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what other clubs did you go to?
So I think I played most of my non-league football at Brackley. I got got the injury, had an operation. That kept me out for 2 years.
Yeah.
That changes a lot of things. If you don't do something for 2 years, whatever it may be, it changes things. But I got on with it. Luckily enough for me, because of playing professional, I'm a member of the PFA. So I was able to do all my rehab up at the St. George's Centre.
Yeah.
Don't know where that is, but yeah, they've obviously got the best technology facilities there and everything. And you get looked after by like the best of the best. So I did my rehab there. And when I came back, I went and played for Brackley. But it was under a different manager now. So my manager, my gaffer was John Brady. I've gone back to Brackley under now a different manager in is it Kevin Wilkin? He played for Northampton as well at one point. He's a nice guy, top lad, but things have, 2 years is a long time.
Yeah.
Things have changed, the team's changed, the dynamics have changed. And I've left football at Brackley where, say, I'm at my peak, I've got the injury, and now I'm almost sort of working my way back up. So things obviously didn't really work out there for whatever reason. But I've ended up signing for Biggleswade Town, actually. I signed for Biggleswade Town. My mate, Nathan Hicks. I'm sure you know Nathan Hicks, don't you?
Yeah, I do know Nathan, yeah.
He gave me a ring, said, look, Greg, we need a hand. Come play for us. I was like, okay. So I did a bit with him. And then probably the best season I've had would have been last season. I signed for Banbury Town.
Yeah.
Signed for Banbury Town. And that's when I think I really, after my injury and everything, I came into my own, started scoring some goals. Team did all right. I did well. And that's, that's where it is at the minute, to be fair.
So at Tamworth, right, you finished, like I said, you finished the season when it got cut short because of what this horrible stuff that's going on in the world today. Like,
Yeah.
You were top of the league, wasn't you, at Tamworth?
Yeah.
And were you banging in the goals?
I banged in a few goals, but it's a successful team. I see, in the non-league where I play, I'm considered a goal scorer. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying my football again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel, touch wood, if I can stay fit. I found a good work-life balance where I'm working, I'm playing football. And to be fair, it's not a bad standard of football. For a local lad who played for Gregory Celtic, these clubs, like Tamworth are a big club with a big history. And you still get, a few thousand come watch the games. And, we played games in the FA Cup against Nuneaton local rivals where you do get 2,000-3,000, come watch you. And obviously from it, you do get a little bit of money that comes in as well. And, we all need more money. And I can't have too many complaints. Do you know what I mean? When I look at like the team I played with in my youth team, I think I'm the only one really who still plays. Yeah. I think Malachi Farquharson still plays a bit, to be fair to him. Yeah. But, you look at,
I've lost on that one. But like I say, like you say, and I said it, I keep saying it, you cannot take that away from you. You've been a professional footballer. You've had the taste of it. You're playing still at a good level. A really, as you said, they've been in the FA Cup. You still get a few thousand. Even a lot of children growing up into men would still love that. Do you know what I mean? So, I've had a good story tonight with you, Greg. It's been absolutely brilliant. And, look, I hope this career still manages to sort of like keep going on because, I know what you're like. You're the most laid back person I think I've ever met. I mean, my son Jordan is as bad as you. I think you two, if you was waking up to play in the World Cup, you'd probably wake up 10 minutes before the game.
Probably.
You know what I mean? And do you know what, Greg? When I look at it, when I look at the things that you've done as a boy that used to live across the road from me, mate, you've been there, you've done it, Sign for the mighty Badgers. Someone just said, come and sign for Budbrook, Greg. Does anyone want to ask Greg any questions now? Come on, fire them into Greg, because I've done a lot of talking now, so fire some questions into Greg. So do you want to come and sign for Budbrook?
Give me a bell.
I think you get paid about 10 quid a game though, Greg, so that's not going to do you much good, is it?
It's fine. I'll play for 10 quid a game.
Would you?
It's all for the love of the game, innit? Give me a bell. We'll see what we can do.
One appearance, Greg. One appearance for Budbrook. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, Greg, I think you're a good, great lad. I've been with you since you was a nipper. 10 quid, like Lang Junior, £10 and close fee, mate. There. But as I said, you've been amazing, mate, with what you've done. Now, for me, right, I've got a lot of youth teams, like little kids playing. I've got some really good lads that, how are you keeping fit at the moment? Someone just asked me.
I've been going out for runs down the lake. Obviously, with the self-isolation, got to keep your 2-meter distance. So I've been, there's a lake near where I live. I've been going for some runs. I've changed my diet up, so I'm eating a lot more health. I'm eating a lot of health, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing the home.
Have you seen me play, Greg?
I've seen you do a bit, Gavin. I've seen you do a little bit.
Not bad, eh?
Nah, you're not bad. I was impressed.
There you go. Finley, who plays for my under-15s, wants to know, Lad Junior, sign you a lot for 80 quid a game. Finley wants to know, what would you do to improve your weaker foot?
I would say whenever you're on your own, whether you're dribbling, practice makes perfect, as they say. So you've just got to get in that mindset of using your left foot more. And the more you use it, the better you'll get. So do little drills. If you're doing kick-ups, try and see how many kick-ups you can do on your left foot. You know, if you can only do 5, then start with that. Improve it to 10, so on and so on. And when you're dribbling in the field, use your left foot more. And you just got to practice.
Yeah, you just got to practice makes perfect, doesn't it? Now, for me, right, Greg, for all my little budding superstars, what would be your last, you know, what would be your last good sound advice before we end this interview?
Just love what you do. And you've got to just make, if you want to be a footballer, you want to go somewhere with it, you just have to prioritize it. You have to work harder than expected. Work harder than expected. You need to get there. If you're training, get there earlier than everyone else. Stay longer if you need to. Yeah. And with football, it's not, you know, obviously you play your game of football on a Saturday, but it's everything you do leading up to that point. So what kind of food are you eating? You know, are you in the gym? Are you looking after yourself? And everything else will just fall into place.
Well, for me, Greg, it's been, you know, as you know, if you're at Tamworth next year, I want to come and watch you. So I'm waiting for some tickets for that, because I was supposed to come and watch you last year. So I'm hoping when this all gets back to normal, I can prop up and see you. I have a few tickets for my lads. We'll come up, watch you play.
Definitely, Gavin.
You know, I've seen you play at the Cobblers, but I'd like to actually see you live and direct now, and see how you are and how you've been. Now you're in the mid-20s, so you know what I mean. But what I'm saying to you, Greg, is you've done absolutely brilliant, mate. It's been a pleasure having you on here. And
thanks, Gavin. I've enjoyed it.
And you know, you're a great lad. And like I say, I'm looking forward to seeing you playing when the season starts. And as I said, all my lads and all my little footballers will look up to you, because you've been a professional footballer. Yeah. And as I said, there may be times, you know, where I want to get you down, and you can come to my holiday club and do, you know, and do little bits with them, and just speak to the boys now and again, because there will be lads now at like 14 or 15 now that are maybe going to be offered pro contracts. And, you know, sometimes there might be a time where there might be a little bit of advice that they may need to get to their dreams, if you understand.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know, Gavin.
All right, then, Greg.
I'll be more than happy to do that for you. But you have a good day, pal, yeah?
Yeah, you turn me off then, Greg. You take care.
All right, stay safe.
And you, mate. Bye-bye. So, absolutely brilliant interview with Greg. Lovely lad, great footballer. I think, like you say, I think it came to him too young as a footballer. I think that, you know, as he said, he got to a situation where he was a pro and he'd worked so hard, and that was it. So next week we'll be back with another ex-pro. So what I want to say, good night. Thank you all for listening to me. Great interview, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.